Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is 6 o'clock on our Tuesday, whereby we have this monthly opportunity, you all, to focus on adult social and emotional learning together. I am your host for this monthly segment, Damian Howard. I guess it'd be good for me to go ahead and show my face there for y'all. Hey, as you all are coming into this space, I'm going to introduce our guest momentarily. We got David in the place to be as well. As you all are coming into this space, and I see some of you all already doing that in the chat box, make sure that you go ahead and let us know what school you are representing. I definitely saw Miss Martin coming in, telling everybody hello, letting us know that she is a parent champion working with Doolittle Elementary School. Yo, you all know how I am and how we make this space pop. It doesn't pop if we don't have the engagement that we need to make this thing as live and interactive as we need it to be. So with that being said, you all, I am your adult social and emotional learning coach. It is such a privilege and an honor to be here with you all another week with this month segment focusing on leadership. I'm so excited for what it is we're going to get into today. Hey, it is always necessary on the front end of our conversation. I'm telling y'all, I'm seeing those chats going up. I need you all, as you're coming in, let us know what organization you're representing as a champion who has committed to showing up to this space. Thank you all for that engagement. I have to go ahead and shout out the sponsors who make this space and this opportunity possible every month. So we have Together Chicago. Together Chicago is all about the good for our communities. In 2016, when there was a peak of violence, these guys came together and said, we want to do something about it. We want to mobilize other churches, other community organizations to come together to do something good for our city. So salute to Together Chicago. That is one of our sponsors that make this work possible. As well, Willow Creek Community Church, their Chicago campus, has made an investment to make sure that we can show up here on a regular basis and get what it is that we need for empowerment, for encouragement, for motivation. So thankful for them. Clever Characters, the organization by which I'm a founder of, all about social and emotional learning. And again, the emphasis now is on adult SEL. I'm so fascinated that my organization as well affords us this monthly opportunity to be here in this space. So I just want to go ahead, you all, and raise up our agenda. It's a very simple agenda. We understand that this is the week of Christmas, so we're not trying to take much of you all's time, but our desire, right, is to make sure that with this monthly commitment that we don't pause in our schedule and with our commitment to make sure that we're giving you all good things that help to give you what you need to implement social and emotional learning in your own lives. Hey, I continue to see that chat going up as I'm doing these introductions. I can't read them at the moment, but I want to make sure that you all are talking to each other. Certain folks are coming in and saying hello, say hi back. That's how we do it in this virtual space. You also, for the bulk of our time, I'm going to get into an interview with our guest here, Brother David Timken. And then the last part of our time together are just kind of some final thoughts as it pertains to what has leadership looked like with the adult parents, the parent champions that I am working with from 10 schools that I've been blessed to partner with this year. Let me say this, you all, this work that we're doing with adult SEL, parent-facing SEL, educator training for social and emotional learning, I believe that this is the work that's going to bring about the change that we desire in our school buildings. So the hope and the commitment is that when we come on here every month to give you all these nuggets, to give you all and share with you all in a way whereby it's not me being a sage on the stage. It's not about David being a sage on the stage, but we call ourselves guides alongside. We're just here to facilitate great conversation, to facilitate a great space with good vibes and good energy that really encourages folks to go back into your space and be a champion of social and emotional learning wherever it is that you find yourself. at home first, in your professional environments, and in your community. So with that, you all, when your interest is piqued, I'm not going to say if, when your interest is piqued, we want to connect with you. If you're not already connected, if you don't have a parent champion or an educator champion who's already working with us, reach out. I'm sure you all got so many emails, even in preparation for this webinar today. Make sure that you all reach out so we can have a strategy call and talk about what it could look like for us to support social and emotional learning in your school or organization. I just want to go ahead, you all, and on this screen here, represent all of the champions that we're working with from different schools. Most of these schools are in the Chicagoland area, but literally, this is a representation across the nation of different people that we are blessed to work with our adult SEL platform and work. So with that, you all, I have, oh, snap, I forgot. We got a giveaway opportunity here. I thought I was going to get in there straight into the introduction of my friend David Timken, but we want to ask this question. Again, engagement is very vital. So at this point, I need to go ahead and look at the chats to see who is the person who firstly is going to answer this question for either your 30-minute adult social and emotional learning session with me, or you can get a $15 Grubhub gift card. It's up to you. You can let me know what you want when I reach out to you, whoever wins this. Here we go. What are CASEL's 5 core competencies? These core competencies are at the center of this adult SEL platform, this adult social and emotional learning platform. So I want to know, and I want to see in the chats, who are those folks who are raising up CASEL's 5 core competencies? David's like, get that off of the screen, man.
Leave the curtain down.
Right. So you all, what are CASEL's, the Collaborative for Academic and Social Emotional Learning? What are their 5 core competencies? I am waiting on our winner who's going to raise up those 5 core competencies. Benita, I see one. Self-awareness. Let's go. We have to be self-aware. Social, social, partial answer. We need that answer. Come on in here. It's amazing you all.
I'll give her social.
What'd you say?
I'll give her social because I think it followed the same self.
Okay, we'll take it. So you're saying we'll take that, David?
Yeah, we'll take that.
Okay, we'll take it.
I think she was trying to quick those in.
Perfect. You are 5 core competencies. We're looking for one of our guests to go ahead and give us CASEL's 5 core competencies. Listen, I put it, Benita is coming in here. You almost there, sister. You are almost there. So it's not a surprise, you all, that Benita's given us these 5 core competencies because she actually is one of our champions that works with Hope Learning Academy. And we talk about these 5 core competencies every month when we meet. Benita, you are so close. Come on. You even got your assistant principal cheering on like she needs the rest of these core competencies. So this is what I'm going to do, you all, as I am still waiting. Benita only gave us 3, so we're needing that first person who's going to give us all 5 of the core competencies to jump in there and do that. For social, self-management. Let's see. So we got self-awareness, we got self-management, social awareness, relationship skills. Just one more. And this last one, I know we haven't gotten to it yet, Benita, in the training, but I believe in you. We know you can do it. We just got one more that we're needing you to put there on that screen. As Benita's doing that, you all, I want to go ahead, responsible decision-making. Benita, if you, Miss Martin went ahead and did it. She gave me all 5. We got that self-awareness. We got that social awareness. We got that responsible decision-making, relationship skills, and self-control. Dang, Benita, I see you in there typing it. You was trying to get it in, but Miss Martin beat you to it. You understand? So Miss Martin, you are definitely going to be the winner. I don't need your email because I already have it, of either a 30-minute personal adult SEL session with me, and you already know how we rock in those SEL sessions, so I don't have to prove to you the value of that, and or a $15 Grubhub gift card. And by the way, Ms. Martin, you all is one of our parent champions who really embodies as well this leadership quality that we're going to be discussing today. So just to go ahead and put this on the screen again, I definitely gave it away a couple of times. Self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, and social awareness. Kudos to all of you all who went in there and were giving us some of those competencies. The most important thing, though, and that's the reason why we show up here every month, is that we are doing our best to understand what these things mean for ourselves and in our own lives, and constantly being reflective. I use that word very intentionally because David challenged me with that word a moment ago, being reflective, to ask ourselves consistently, daily, every moment, how am I living into these core competencies in a way that helps me to be my best version or the best version of myself? How am I managing self, being aware of self, being aware of others, living into relationship skills, etc., that affords me the opportunity to be the best version of myself and give the best of myself to everybody around me. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Timken is a personal friend of mine. He's a social worker extraordinaire with so much vast experience. He's going to get in here and through narrative, tell us a little bit about how much experience and all of the different things and places he's actually even been within our school district here in Chicago, the Chicago Public Schools. I really love, by way of introduction versus reading what I put on there on Eventbrite for you, to just kind of speak from my heart as far as who and what David means to me. Anytime, you all, when I have people and I put so much out there, I send out so many emails, I'm texting folk, I go to schools, I'm cold calling, and all of this because I believe very deeply and genuinely in this work of adult social and emotional learning. When I left my job as a special education teacher working for Crane High School, I didn't leave my job because I didn't like my job. I left my job because I started to feel like, man, there was more in me, whereby the capacity and the potential that was nestled inside of Damian Howard, I would say even hidden inside of Damian Howard, had the ability to be a blessing to my whole city and even beyond my city. I didn't know all of what that meant at the time, but I just really started to feel challenged that there was more to me and more inside of me. And then when I started to really kind of ask myself and inquire, Damien, what is it that you can do? What is it that you can focus on to be a blessing to your city and beyond? What really was illuminated and became massively clear is this field of social and emotional learning. I really believe, personally for me, is that if I am going to raise up and make positive impact in communities, positive impact for the whole school system, that's the way I think, and that's how I operate. Dag, I thought I was introducing you, David. How did this get back about me?
It's all good. It's all good. I love it.
I'm sorry, y'all. Anyway, if I'm going to make a positive impact, transformative value, bring transformative value to schools, man, I'm really so committed to this social and emotional learning work. Why? Because when we start doing SEL work, what happens is it brings transformation to the school culture. And when the culture of schools start to improve, look out, man. Now we can get quality academics in a way that we weren't afforded to before because there was too much stuff going on impeding that ability. All that to say, this brother right here, he gets it. He was one of the first people when I was in this place of just like, how in the world am I going to make this work? I don't know how I'm going to eat. I don't know how I'm going to feed my family. I don't even know how we're going to put a roof over our head if I transition and leave my job, right? But I started talking to David about it, and he encouraged me, and he even gave me an opportunity, right, to connect to a school leader that he was working with. And it's just that David is the personification of why I am afforded the opportunity to now be where I am, whereby this work that I'm doing is making impact, not only in the city of Chicago, but now across our nation, because he believed in me. And he took a leap of faith that even though he didn't know me that well 3 years ago, right? He said, man, I see some value in Damien, and I want him to be exposed to my network. So David, I just want to say thank you first and foremost for that, man. That means the world to me. So as a social worker, as I stated, David, the way that it works here in our district, has been afforded an opportunity to work with many schools, work with different diverse populations. And with that, I want to be quiet, David. I want you to introduce yourself to our people tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. I thought for a minute I was going to become the elf on the shelf. Um, yeah, like so. We met is I think you put on a line about needing interns. I think you were starting out with, and I jumped on that. I have been, and I got to give a quick shout out to Laura Ty. I say a lot of times that I've been in so many schools that I can't go anywhere within the CPS district without running into somebody I know. So that still stands here today. I have worked in over 30 schools in 20 years, and starting in Englewood and West Pullman, every single neighborhood in between, with few exceptions. And it's been an honor and a privilege most of the time, working with kids and teachers and their kids' families. And it's, I think this is, I know that what you're talking about is on the money. We have for too long assumed that we all know what we're doing, and that we can read something in a book and teach it. And unfortunately, most of us as adults, I'm hoping this ends with our generation. We have learned very little about social emotional learning, other than what's been handed to us, and we've been expected to teach. But my vast experience has proven to me that if you don't do the personal work, if you don't figure out how emotions affect you, what they are, what your triggers are, and develop your own coping skills for them, it is going to be extremely challenging to teach children how to do that. So I don't know how long you want me to go here, D.
No, that was great. That was great. And yeah, man, the topic, David, tonight and where we're going is on leadership, right? So every month, with our social and emotional learning work, we have a theme. And our theme this month, once more, is leadership. So I just really want to raise up some questions and just hear your heart as it pertains to this topic of leadership. So if you're game for that, just let me know and we'll get into it.
Okay, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so what I have come to learn and believe is that every particular stakeholder in a school environment has the ability to be a leader, right? And in fact, I wouldn't even say has the ability to be a leader, even if and when they don't know it, they are leaders, right? So my audience that shows up to this space every month, we have a blend of parents, we have some educators, and then we also have representatives of different kid and family facing organizations. I just want you to be able to speak to that, David, from your experience. And you talked about working with 30 plus schools across the city of Chicago. What are, right, like some of those traits or characteristics that you've seen in some of those people who might not even necessarily know themselves that they're leaders, either parents, teachers, that from the ground level, even when they don't have a title, right? You've seen leadership in them. Talk to us a little bit about that.
It's really simple. It comes from a place of love. Leaders in school systems, from the ground up, students, teachers, parents, administrators, if they truly come from a place of love, of wanting to help others, and they can act with empathy, respond rather than react, that's a leader in the school. And bringing that power of voice and love to a school building in Chicago could be the most important thing that any of us do, would be the answer to that.
Yeah, so my follow-up is, how do you define love, right? So I'm not even here, and this is just kind of indicative of how I run this space, looking for a technical definition there. I know as you started to really kind of tease it out, you spoke of things like empathy, and just that connectivity that is so necessary. We talk so much here, and it's the third or fourth time it's coming up, of being reflective. I heard you say responding versus reacting. Let's take a step back and just talk to us. What is love? What does love look like when it's shown in a person's countenance?
Well, for me, love comes from empathy, from being able to hear somebody else's story, hear somebody else's position, and put yourself in that place. The common misnomer is empathy versus sympathy. We all sympathize very easily. Empathy is a risky place to be for a lot of people, because it exposes our own individual vulnerabilities. So to be able to be vulnerable, to be yourself, to embrace that you are not perfect and that you make mistakes and people around you make mistakes. Those are all things that are high commodities in the school system that I've known.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I just appreciate you for sharing that out, David. Mary, what I want you to do, because I do see your hand raised, and y'all, we like to be as informal as possible here in this space and not have to, wait until a Q&A time. But Mary has her hand raised, and Mary, we want to know what it is that you are wanting to contribute. So let us know in the chat, Mary, if you have a question or a comment. What was it that you wanted to bring into this space? And I don't necessarily know where you are as far as your visual, but we would even be willing to have you to jump into this space today. So Mary, go ahead and put that in the chat as we continue this conversation. David, is so rich already. I even see in the comments, some of our guests, they're hearing that piece of vulnerability that you're raising up, and really being privileged to hear you speak of that. Why do you think, if it's as simple as us being loving individuals and allowing that love to be expressed in the way that we show up, particularly in a school building, in our homes and communities, why is leading in that way, leading as a person of love, why is that often difficult for us?
We're a scared nation. We have been programmed over and over again to not mess up, to be a certain way, to look a certain way, to talk a certain way. And fear is ingrained in our DNA as Americans. So it's very easy for people to act in it coming from that space of fear. And so in order to break that, we all have personal work to do. I remember when I started going to school for social work, and one of my first social work mentors and professors, in her opening statement to us all, she said, if I can't make it a requirement, but if I could, I'd require every single one of you to go to therapy and get some work done. And I expressed that 110%. We have this idea in this country that unless you had some catastrophic trauma in your life, you're fine. And the reality of that has been scientifically disproven. Trauma is trauma, and it may be your parents yelling at you, it may be your parents hitting you. There's very little difference between the two. If you have ever in your life been put in a space of survival, you know what fight or flight is, and we've all experienced it. So if you experience that a lot when you're a kid, guess what? You've got some trauma in you. You've got some work to do to figure that out, because our bodies have a very adept way of burying that stuff. And I think, the work that you're doing is, it really, you're right, is on the precipice, because we all need this work. We all need to learn how to be. What does self-awareness mean? What does self-management mean? What does social awareness mean? What are relationship skills that we need? And how do we make decisions? That's a bedrock for sure. But it's like, it's deep. It's deep. It should be a sphere. It shouldn't be the castle wheel. It should be a sphere, because it's big.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate everything that you're just sharing with our parents and our educator community. What I will admit, you all, is that I don't have to ask you all if this is giving you value, because I know that it's being it's making an impression upon me, even as I'm listening in to David, and even hearing a reinforcement of a lot of what it is that I share with the parents. So what I'm really desiring, if you all have questions, or if there are comments that are coming to your mind, things that are resonating with you all as you're hearing us chat here, go ahead and put those in the comment section. And by the way, Mary, I am waiting for you to reply back to me privately, because when and if you're ready when you let me know exactly why you had your hand raised, and we can chat about that privately first. David and I want to bring you into this space publicly and have you to ask whatever question or give your comment. So we're waiting, and we are ready. Y'all, I promise you I can talk.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Laura and a West
David?
shout out. You got a West Pullman shout out.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All day, all day. So
that was my first school. Actually, let me go back to empathy. That was my first school, West Pullman, back in 1999.
Wow.
And I sat in an office, and I shared the office with about a half a dozen other women that worked in the school. And I remember I would be sitting on the phone, and a parent would be yelling or screaming at me and whatever, and they would all look at me and they would be like, "Why do you let them yell at you like that?" And I said, "They're going to stop eventually. I might as well hear them out."
Mm-hmm. That's that empathy showing up, even in 99, huh? So I don't know if you remember Shanette Martin, but she's one of our parent champions. She's the one that said, shout out to West Pullman. It's very possible that she might have been a student there at the time. So that's special, all of the different connections that you're having even in this space tonight.
Yeah.
So David, I want to now kind of shift our conversation, and this is really kind of the last thing I had top of mind to discuss with you as a social worker who's worked with so many different schools across the city, for us to now discuss influence, right? I know even as I shared my story earlier, I started to feel like I had greater capacity inside of me to make greater influence. But as we think even on the school-wide or just the school-specific level, their parents and their teachers and even administrators who might feel like I have more power for influence inside of me than I'm able to exert or express in this space. So I don't even want to ask that by way of a question. I just want to tease up that prompt in the way that I just did, and have you to speak on leadership influence, whatever thoughts or comments come to your mind with that.
Right. Rephrase that for a second.
Yeah, so just influence is so important when we're talking about leadership. If you are going to be a leader is somebody who has the ability to influence others to follow, period, right?
Right.
So when I think of our parents, and a lot of what I do in our parent empowerment spaces is like, yo, I need to encourage you to go back to your schools and share with other parents this SEL stuff that we're talking about. This
Yep.
thing has the ability to make massive impact. So when you think of influence, especially as you reflect on your 30 years of experience
Mhm.
in CPS, when have you seen leadership influence? What are ways that you think we can further express or live into being influential people, if we're parents, if we're teachers, any people who work in school systems?
Yeah, I think the school system is that's a great place to start because it is a beast on the school level, on the network level, on the district level. So it's first um, putting a posse together, like find like minds, find people that come in again from that place of love. We have an idea, we have something that we want to bring to the school. Spread that through communication, talk to people, um, gather a group of people so you can actually have a caucus and make an impact in that way. um, it's hard to implement these things on your own, but there are certainly parents and teachers and enough people that are in this work for the right reasons and know that there's more information that they can get and that there's ways to make an impact in a positive way. So I guess if I could answer that, just um, keep talking to each other, keep talking, keep sharing each other's stories, um, be be vulnerable. I'll use it again. Um, and I think that's the best way that we start to come together, and that vulnerability is the glue that holds us together.
That's great. That's great. So, David, we are now in the Q&A section of our time together. And our first question comes from Miss Shanette Martin. She's asking, do you believe that trauma can be carried and given to children during birth?
Yes, absolutely. Um, that's kind of first questions on an assessment. If I'm doing a social assessment, um, I want to know, um, almost more importantly than were they drinking, were they smoking, were they all the environmental things. Um, what was their living situation like? Were they financially stable? Was there domestic violence going on? Those things definitely make an impact. Now I can't state the scientific evidence of it, but I'm sure I could find it pretty quickly. And so yes, that absolutely, trauma is in our DNA. So it goes beyond just in utero. It goes generations before us.
Yeah, that's powerful. And that definitely was also spoken to by our guest that we had last month, Dr. Lori Desatel, and her work with brain science that she's been a part of for a while now, working with Butler. Definitely, it's been proven scientifically that trauma, it spans through generations, especially if it goes undealt with. So, David, definitely thank you for reinforcing that. Now, going into another month, really reiterating the importance of us addressing our trauma. David, so on my end, and as far as I hope you saw the shout out from Laura Ty as well. Just your advocacy that you have for kids at your schools as she was experiencing you. She saw so much leadership in you, even when maybe you didn't see it in yourself at the time. Being a leader in that environment, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. So just wanted to go ahead and put that out here
Well,
publicly as well.
now I got to take a minute, just a cautionary tale. Let's go back to um, the question about how do we become leaders in schools, and the reason I say that we need to work together. We need to create, if it's 2 people, if it's 10 people, whatever, it's got to be more than one person driving any positive agenda. Because through my experience, I didn't get to 30 plus schools on my own. It wasn't always my decision. So sometimes the best intentions are not welcome. And that is why when I say work together, work with each other, that culture can change, but it takes a village.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Even in my social media spaces, that's the word that I always raise up, village, right? The fact that if we're going to make massive impact and even grow into the best versions of ourselves, we need each other and we need other people. And I'm just, again, so grateful that for our parent community that joins us here in this monthly space, that they even hear you reiterating that as well. David, thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. You know that you are a brother from another mother. It's always good, brother, to have a connection. Is there anything that you wanted to share with our people before you get out of here today?
I just want to share that it brings me such joy to see all these people, and see people that I know, but more importantly, just see people getting together on whatever this night is. But it does make an impact, and it's wonderful. I think every one of you is beautiful for being here, and I pray you all good well in the next year. We have work to do, but it's like a wave coming of positive energy, and people realizing that this castle wheel thing, there's something underneath the cover, and we need to get deep into it and figure out what it is. So thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said earlier, I don't have to ask if people got value out of that, but I want you all know how I do, to go ahead and type that word value. If just us hearing from David with his massive experience was helpful for you, if it got you illuminating or thinking of different ways, right, that you can show up as a leader in your own space, let's just go ahead and give kudos. David, in the comments, I'm seeing so many people say thank you and provide just some affirmation for you, brother. So we'll talk.
Yep.
All right. Peace out.
Bye, everyone.
All right, you all. So I already know that first segment was super helpful for everybody. I have another giveaway. Doom, 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 doom. That's my version of a drum roll. Doom, 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 doom. Do you hear me? Here's the question. What is self-regulation, and why is self-regulation important? It came up tonight and it came up last month. The ability to regulate our own emotions, to self-regulate without giving away too much. What is that in your own words, y'all? We're not looking for technical jargon. We're looking for, what does this stuff mean to you? What is self-regulation? Why is it important? You either get a 30-minute session with me, or you get a Grubhub gift card. I'm going to press ahead, you all. I'm seeing comments coming in there, you all. What is self-regulation? What does it mean to you? Why is it important? I am looking for those answers. So go ahead and put that in there, you all. David, if you can take the video off, that'd be great, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep. I'm going to go ahead, you all, and press ahead so we can go ahead and, get the rest of our holiday on and popping, on and cracking. So you all go ahead and make sure that you all are answering that question so I can definitely give away that gift card. For the last moments, I want to firstly go ahead and raise up one more time. These are champions that are working in schools right now. You all see the schools and you see the champions. Many of them are here today. Oh man, I don't have Miss Martin on here. I got to update that. She's one of our newer champions. So I want to make sure I put her on here representing Doolittle as well. The reason why I am so adamant about constantly putting the champions in front of you all is based on the fact that the stuff that I share here on a monthly basis, these are people who are meeting with me in addition to this monthly meeting, so that they can be raised up as leaders in you all's school, to help you to understand what this SEL stuff is all about and how you can apply this SEL stuff in your own personal life. I see those chats coming in there. I hope you all are responding to that question. What is self-regulation? Why is it important? Because when I see that winner, I have a gift for you. Please, you all, help me to help your environment. We are literally having our hands on something special whereby we have the ability to increase engagement in your schools. And by the way, I do have some of my mentors, mentor partners who jumped into this space as well. Thank you for being here as well. Everything that we're talking about tonight applies to what you all are doing in your mentoring spaces. This month's theme is leadership. Everything that we're talking about here helps you as well to be a greater leader as a mentor in your mentoring spaces. So y'all, we are right about at the point that we're going to get out of here for the night. But before we do that, y'all, I just want to share some stuff really quickly with you all. I'm just trying to get my visual, how I need my visual to pop in the right way. And it isn't doing that for me, you all. So just bear with your friend here. Bear with me. Bear with me. All right, no worries. We're just going to keep it moving. Hopefully you all, you know what? If somebody can tell me in the chats here, right now for me talking, am I taking up your whole screen or am I just like in a little fraction or a little part of the screen? Go in and tell me. I just wanted to make sure. Perfect. Whole screen. That's what I needed. That's what I was looking for. So it looks a little funky on my end. Y'all, I want to talk about leadership. This month, this theme is all about leadership. The best way that I thought about talking about leadership is to raise up parent champions who are being like leadership personified in their environment. So firstly, I want to raise up Cynthia Clark. I don't think she's here in this space today, but she's the parent champion that I work with from Gary Comer. Cynthia is a leader by which like she every time she's going into different spaces with parents that are connected to what's Noble, the whole Noble network, not just her school, but the whole Noble network. She's saying, hey, I'm a parent champion. This is what I'm learning about social and emotional learning. And I want more parents to get this information. She's always reaching out to me, telling me about spaces that she's being invited to as a representative of this work. That is exactly what this work is all about. We are empowering parents to go and run tell that. Do you hear me? To go into their own spaces and get other parents excited about what we're doing here. Bonita Griffin, who is in this space, I love how day one, she has raised her hand and said, our parents need, Damien, as many quality resources as they can get. And I love that it's not Bonita who shows up, but also Assistant Principal Laura Ty from Hope Learning Academy. Y'all, that is leadership to say that, yo, Encompass in our building, we have some amazing people, but we believe that there are other resources that are out there that once we get these resources and attach these resources to our community, that good can come from this, from other people in our environment, specifically our parents and even other teachers. Y'all, that is leadership. That is influence. I love it. I love it. The last person I'll speak of tonight is our parent champion that's connected to legacy. Her name is Ruth Harrell. Y'all, listen, Ruth, like I only met her probably 3 months ago. And since I met her, she's conducted 3 parent hangouts herself. I love even the language that she's using, parent hangouts, because when I'm meeting with my parent champions, that's what we call our space. It's parent hangouts. We're coming to this space to get good stuff that empowers us to be once more the best versions of ourselves. That don't mean that we're perfect. That doesn't mean that we don't mess up, but we are trying, and we're trying this thing together. And she said, Damien, the last time I did this, I only had a couple of people, but I'm still committed to the work. What is that? That is leadership. So in closing, I want to raise up 3 traits, 3 leadership traits that I have seen personified in an amazing way in the parent champions that I'm working with. And why am I sharing these traits? Because I think that these are key traits that could be helpful for other parents that are watching in tonight. Other people who work with parents. This is, areas of encouragement and intentional leadership support that you can offer in your spaces. Our mentors who are connected to me with other work that I do. These 3 leadership traits that I'm about to succinctly share right now are powerful and will make massive impact in whatever environment whereby you activate these leadership traits in your space. So number one, what I found is that the best leaders have an internal locus of control. The best leaders have an internal locus of control. What does that mean? For all of you all who answer my self-regulation question, you all are already kind of alluding to what that's getting to. An internal locus of control says that, yo, it's a whole bunch of stuff happening around me. And yes, sometimes that stuff pisses me off, for lack of a better phrase. Sometimes that stuff, it irritates me. Sometimes that stuff, it hurts me, right? But I'm not going to let that stuff get in the way of me working towards achieving whatever my point of destiny or my destination is that I've already identified, articulated even for myself and for my life. Yes, life is going to happen. Life happens to all of us. But people with that internal locus of control says that I'm not going to be the puppet that's constantly handing over control of my life so that people could direct me in the way that they want me to be directed. But no, I'm going to be the puppeteer of my own situation. That doesn't mean that sometimes I ain't gonna curse, I ain't gonna go off on you. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be once more excellent or perfect, but that means that I am doing my best to say that I got control of me. I got control of my own destiny. Nobody from this day forward, right, is going to be afforded enough energy and enough control over my existence whereby they can dictate comprehensively what's going on in my space, what's going on in my mind. These are people, right, who have that mind control, who have that heart control. And they're saying that even though life is going to happen, I'm still going to keep working towards building me so that I can be an asset to those people around me, so that I can consistently be an asset even to myself. An internal locus of control. Number two, these are people, you've heard me say this word many times tonight, and it was so intentional knowing what I was going to share here with you all on this evening. These are people who have the ability to influence other people to invest in their own wellness. These are people who have the ability to influence other people to invest in their own wellness. What am I meaning by that, right? When my parent champions and I come and talk, like I said, it's not about me being a sage on a stage. It's a guide alongside. Even what I'm sharing with you all right now, these aren't things that I went and researched. These are leadership traits that I've seen in the parents that I've been working with over the last 3 or 4 months. These are people like Ruth Harrell. Ruth, I don't know if you're in this space or not, but I'm just calling you up. I'm gonna have to send her this playback because I need her to hear how much we are just really applauding and affirming her amazing work with Legacy School. If it's anybody in here from Legacy today, that would be amazing if you all would just let us know that you're here in this space. But here's the point. Ruth is a person who says, I am not just going to hoard good stuff for myself. That part of why I'm even going to get good things, like a knowledge of what social and emotional learning is, like an ability to use social and emotional learning tools in my life, is for the sake of my community, for the sake of being a blessing in my home, so that as I get these things, I got to go back and give it. I have a commitment. Ruth has a commitment. Yes, as a part of this programming process, Ruth does get a stipend. But even before the stipend process was even known by her, she was already going into the school saying, hey, we need to do parent hangouts because I'm getting value from parent hangouts from Damien and the community that's around me. And I want to give this value back to others. Leaders are people who influence others to go and get what they need to be in their best space mentally and emotionally. They want other people to be well, you all. Because they are people who understand when we are well, then we have the greatest ability to flourish. We have the greatest ability to go and do what we were made, and I would even say predetermined, even destined to do and destined to be. All right. Now, number three, these are people, y'all, I just want to say this last one very simply, and we're going to get out of here on this evening. They're people who get stuff done. They're not going to just keep procrastinating, keep making excuses. Like I said, Ruth, and I keep raising her up because she resonates just so profoundly in my mind as I'm thinking about leadership. She's a parent champion who's not going to make excuses for what she doesn't have, but she's going to take what she does have and do the best with that. She's like, I just got to get it done, right? And I'm speaking tonight and providing, hopefully, encouragement for a community of people, educators, parents, community workers who are saying, yes, not only am I a person who's about getting things done, not just for the sake of my salary or stipend, but for the sake of impacting positive change in my community. I want to be a person who helps to encourage and motivate that resolve and that grit within other people, that they too go and get things done. That's why leaders are really able to continue to thrive, because as they get things done, guess what happens? Even without them having to be pompous or boastful or tell people, I am a go-getter, I am somebody who gets things done. People see your actions. Your actions are going to speak so much more profoundly and louder than anything that it is that you can say. So as you just go and get it done, the world is going to know how awesome and how amazing you are. And that's why I love my ability to work directly with parents and educators, because parents and educators already innately are so ingenious and they have so much ingenuity. And sometimes it just takes a community, it takes the village to come alongside them and say, you got it. Come on, we got to get beyond whatever it is causing those limiting beliefs that keep you stuck. We got to help you to get beyond that. Come on, so that you can get this first thing done. Take this initial first small step, right, towards your business plan, towards whatever it was that you wanted to change about your home environment. Let's take that first small step. And as you get that done, we're going to applaud you. We're going to be your biggest cheerleaders. And then you will see yourself accomplishing grander and bigger things. And that's what I'm seeing with the parents that I get an ability to work with every month. And I am thankful that I have this opportunity to partner with schools and organizations in this way, that I am a mentor with mentors, and I am a collaborator with parents, and we are getting things done. 3 things, leadership traits that I've seen in our parent champions. Leaders are those who have an internal locus of control. That doesn't mean that they don't get, peed off, or that doesn't mean that they don't get angry about some stuff, but ultimately, right, they are able to find that resolve within, to not be led by other external factors against or away from where it is that they're trying to go and what it is that they know they are becoming. I love that. Number 2, leaders are people who influence others to invest in their own wellness. And then thirdly, leaders are people who get things done. I am going to go ahead and give you all back this last 5 minutes here. But before I do that, I don't know if everybody here in this space is a part of this champions process and this champions program. You all, we have 2 things. We have courses. And in addition to courses, we have coaching. When I talk about these hangouts, that's coaching. We come together and we just talk about these 5 core competencies in real ways that stretches us, that encourages us. But in addition to that coaching, we have just some virtual recorded sessions that when we tap into those sessions, it just really helps us to get a greater understanding concerning what this social and emotional learning stuff is all about. Erica, thank you for going ahead and letting us know that this was helpful for you today. I appreciate that affirmation. It means so much to me to get that affirmation. For the rest of you all who just took this time to be here on this evening, I thank you so much. I appreciate your commitment to being here. Let's make sure you all next month, January, top of the year, as people are making these resolutions to be better and to do better, let's get them here to this space. Y'all, we're talking about some good stuff, some transformative stuff, not only for schools, but for all of life. So I need you all, as I just talked about being cheerleaders, to be those cheerleaders to encourage other people to get to this space. Y'all, I'm gonna stick around just so that I can look at the chat to make sure that I know who it was who won the self-regulation part. Ms. Martin, you're gonna get your gift email coming soon. Thank you all so much. David, I do see you just really raising up mindfulness. Allison, thank you for just affirming the awesomeness of what it is that we're doing here. And y'all, I will see you next month. And don't just come by yourself. Make sure that you're getting other folks to register as well. Peace out, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. On your way out, you all, like you did when you came in, you said hi. If you could just say goodbye, that would be amazing.